welcome to the August 2013 Asset Management Strategies newsletter. Let's review the market activity for August 1st and then talk about some adjustments we've made. Most market indexes were negative for the month of August. The S&P was down just over 3%. Small caps were down a little more than that. The international market was down just over 1%, and most bond markets were down as well. Our diversification helped soften the decline some, but there wasn't anywhere to get returns. Down markets were due to conflicting economic reports and trouble in the Middle East. You'll notice that the S&P trading down did not trigger a sellout like we had in June. That's because we went back to the weekly software, which should smooth things out better. And since we adjusted the sensitivity of the software, our trading range is slightly wider and the drop was within that expanded range. I was disappointed that the sellout in June, in an effort to avoid what looked to be a significant escalating market drop, did not develop into a market crash. While I never cheer for a market crash like that, it was difficult to not participate as fully in the rebound. That flight to safety cost us a couple of % of positive return, and that's why we shifted back to the weekly software run. By looking at the market numbers on a weekly close instead of each day, the software should perform better in markets that behave with less volatility. The daily model is better for markets that are jumping around wildly, moving 5 to 10% up, then 5-10% down within a matter of days. Year to date, I think there are two things that have kept us from having higher returns. As you can see from this graph showing the various world markets, the U.S. stock market is the leading market, but there are many, in fact most, that are negative. This is year to date as of August 16th. Many of the green countries, New Zealand, Spain, United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, are up only in the single digits, while there are many in the red that are down over 10%. China, Brazil, Chile, for example, some down over 20% year to date. Also, the hedge fund index is up less than 5% year to date, which is thought to be some of the smartest money in the world, now topping $5 trillion of invested assets. One of the largest funds, run by Brevin Howard, recorded their worst single-month loss in history in June. They manage over $40 billion. Because we've never had all of our equity allocation only in the S&P, and the S&P is the strongest single performer, we lag behind because we have assets diversified into several different areas of the market. The other reason we are not currently keeping pace with the S&P is because of the trend following sell signal that we got in June that I mentioned earlier. From a behavioral finance perspective, it is only natural for people to underestimate their tolerance for risk when markets are down and overestimate their tolerance for risk when markets are up. What always surprises me is how effortlessly some people can make this shift depending on the current market. We have carefully designed our process after decades of research along with feedback from clients to be able to deliver solid returns with lower risk over long periods of time, even though during short periods of time we may underperform, especially when one area of the market is higher when others are not. As of the end of August, we are holding steady at about 75% of our maximum equity allocation. If the market moves higher, we will look to deploy the balance of 25%. We remain holding only the floating rate bonds as concern for rising interest rates continue, and we do not want to expose our safest dollars to that level of risk. Please remember that aside from our managed portfolios, we can also help with more conservative types of approaches such as fixed annuities. These can be very complex, but in many cases can offer guaranteed growth and guaranteed income for life. If you are looking for certainty, please let us know, and we can talk to you about the various options. That's it for this month. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to share this with anyone you think it might help. Let us know if you want to speak to us for any reason. Talk to you next month. Thanks.